Welcome, everybody, to Boxing History 101 on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification tab so you get all of the Grueling Truth content. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Grueling Truth. Today, we're going to look at the history of a boxer that needs to be told, and that's the story of Billy Miske. Now, a lot of you guys have never heard of Boxer Billy Miske. Even if you're not a boxing fan, you're going to want to basically watch this show because it is mind-blowing. Because Boxer Billy Miske completed across several weight classes, including the heavyweight division. He received a devastating diagnosis at a young age, but even though he was dying, he decided to fight on to help his family. Now, Billy Miske is a name that's not very often heard in today's world of combat sports. It's quite possible that many have never even heard of him, even ardent boxing fans. Now, he was forgotten, or at least doesn't get the attention and recognition he deserves, but his story continues to amaze even after almost 100 years. He died at only 29 years old, but during his lifetime, he was the true embodiment of the word fighter. That was the case until his very last day. Now, we're going to watch some video of Billy Miske. The only problem with the video of Billy Miske, there's not a lot of video out there, but we got about a 4-minute video. I'm just going to go ahead and let it play. I don't know if it matches up or not, but this is a story that everybody needs to know, whether you're a boxing fan or not. Now, Billy Miske, or as he was otherwise known as, the St. Paul Thunderbolt, as a boxer, was born on April 12th, 1894, the city of St. Paul, Minnesota. He started professional boxing at the age of 19 and competed in the ring with the truest greats of his time. In addition to his boxing career, he also tried to start his own car sales business at a young age. But this did not go as well as he wished, and he fell deep into debt. And it was that financial crisis that later played a big role in what was probably the most difficult decision of Billy Miske's life. Now, in the spring of 1918, the then 24-year-old Miske was diagnosed with a disease that I can't pronounce, but it's still called to this day Bright's disease. It is a serious kidney disease, which in some cases leads to the patient having to undergo a transplant of the organ. In the worst cases, the disease ends in death. Now, according to the doctor, Miske had a maximum of 5 years left to live. And due to the seriousness of the disease, he advised him to stop boxing immediately. But Billy Miske decided otherwise. At that time, Billy Miske already fought against boxers who later went down in history as the best of their time. Guys like Jack Dillon, Henry Greb, and others. But instead of heeding the doctor's warning, Miske decided to keep his illness a secret and continue his boxing career. He knew that he would not live very long, but he wanted to financially support his family as much as possible. The desire to help those closest to him won over even over his own health. Now, he fought more than 100 matches and tough battles in the no decision era. That's according to historical data. Over 100 fights. He delivered 35 knockouts. However, the data on the number of matches, wins, and losses might be different. For many years, Miske fought in the so-called no decision era, which described a period at the beginning of the 20th century when the point system, as we know it in contemporary boxing, was not yet applied. And the boxer could only become the winner in a match if he knocked out the opponent. If both were on their feet at the end of the match did not have an official winner a lot of times, nor was it declared a draw, but rather given the moniker of a no decision. As author Mike Silver writes in the book Stars in the Ring, this meant, for example, that even if the champion at the time lost every round, he would keep the belt if he could stand on his feet till the end of the fight a lot of times. At the beginning of the 20th century, boxing attracted a lot of attention from gamblers who bet on their favorites. The bettors then followed the majority opinion of the journalist, who the next day in a newspaper announced the winner of the boxer who, in their opinion, was better. This is why this period of boxing is also called newspaper decision. Individual regions in the United States later began adopting new boxing rules that ended this era. Now, it is also important to mention that the match ended in a no decision or newspaper decision result. The match was not counted in a boxer's official professional statistics. Therefore, Billy Miske, as an example, official statistics show only 52 professional matches, 48 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. That's according to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. There was another 54 matches that were reported as no decisions. Now, Miske was an all-time great I heard about. But the great thing about him was as he was dying, he fought boxing legends. In the same year that Billy Miske heard the devastating diagnosis, he faced Jack Dempsey, the feared boxer who reigned as the heavyweight champion from 1919 to 1924. He rose to the top of the boxing world, many thanks to his phenomenal strength and aggressive fighting style. To this day, Dempsey is considered one of the greatest legends of the sport. Miske was famous for the fact that his opponents often ended up on stretchers. And although he was simply not enough for Dempsey, he was a worthy opponent. Now, the first two rounds were tight in the action, but Miske hit Dempsey in the jaw in the third round to gain an advantage in that round. The newspaper reported at the time, according to the journalist, however, Dempsey clearly dominated the fight, who was therefore declared the winner in the newspaper. Now, Miske and Dempsey met again in the ring in 1920 when Dempsey reigned as the heavyweight champion. In the rematch, the hard-hitting Dempsey managed to knock out Miske in the third round. Out of all 104 boxing matches, this is the only time in his career that Billy Miske was knocked out. I mean, that's pretty impressive at any time, especially back in those days. Now, we go on here. And since the time Billy Miske learned he was dying, he had appeared in dozens of other games. He was able to handle 10 to 15 matches in 1 year. He was in pain, which worsened over time, which is why he walked away from the ring after a fight in January 1923, which he won by TKO. But he didn't walk away for good. Now, this is the tearjerker. This is the moment. He wanted to give his family a nice Christmas. Time was running out fast for Miske, and he knew it. He lost weight, the pain worsened, and he had no energy. It was winter, and Christmas was approaching. Miske only had a few months to live. He wanted to give his wife and 3 small children a nice Christmas once more, which is why he made the decision to enter the boxing ring for the last time, despite his deteriorating health and imminent death. He approached his longtime manager, Jack Reedy, to arrange the matchup. Now, I hate to say it, but if you go into the ring in this condition, you could die there, his manager told him. So what? It's still better. It's still better than waiting for death in a rocking chair, answered Miske. Now, Reedy said, do something for them. Go to the gym, start training, get in shape at least a little bit. Then we'll have fun again. Reedy urged the boxer to train. I mean, it hurt Miske to train. But that was the problem. Because of his bad condition, Miske could no longer train at all. He spent most of his time in bed or in a chair. Nevertheless, he insisted that one more match was within his power. The manager finally heeded his wish. Billy Miske entered the last match of his life on November the 7th, 1923. And it is on his deathbed, and he is entering a box. And I mean, on top of that, his opponent was the renowned Bill Brennan, who was ranked among the best boxers of his time, a man that fought Jack Dempsey. Miske and Brennan had fought each other 3 times in the past. This was their 4th matchup against each other. Never before had there been a match ended before the time limit when these guys fought. But this time it was different. A dying Billy Miske actually knocked out Bill Brennan in the 4th round. This is a man who's close to death. He's so close to death that he risked his life and he left the ring with a smile. For winning, Billy Miske received a check for $2,400, and it gave his family the best Christmas they'd ever had together. Towers of gifts stood by the decorated tree. Children beamed with happiness. The next day, the boxer called the manager to take him to the hospital. Billy Miske died January the 1st, New Year's Day, 1924. He was only 20 years old. In 2010, Billy Miske was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The ceremony was attended by proud members of the boxer's family, including 2 grandchildren. Billy Miske may have never become a champion in his short life, but his story of determination to fight until his last breath for his family makes him one of the biggest names in the sport and a man that should never be forgotten. Billy Miske was a true fighter. He was a true warrior. And he's a man that loved his family so much that even on his dying bed, he went out and fought to get them the money to have a great Christmas. And 2 months after he fought that fight in early November against Bill Brennan, Billy Miske passed away. All right, guys. If you like stories like this, make sure you follow and like The Grueling Truth on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Grueling Truth. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification on YouTube. And check out BetMGM, your best bet for betting on boxing. Make sure you click the link of the description down below in the video. All right, guys. Once again, I am Mike Goodpaster. You have been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.